On this episode of the Whiskey Tornado, we review Lucky 7 Holiday Toast, and we play a little game called Chase This, Not That. What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey Tornado. I'm your host, Lance. Today we are reviewing a great bottle. It's Lucky 7 Distillery. It's a NDP, a non-distilling producer. It's their expression of Holiday Toast, a double-oaked bourbon that I think competes with the likes of Woodford Double-Oaked, Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel, Old Forester 1910. We're going to review it today, and I'm going to give it our Whiskey Tornado score. For those of you new to the Whiskey Tornado, let me quickly explain our scoring system. We have 6 categories: the appearance, nose, palate, finish, availability, and value. I rank all of those categories 0 to 1, 0.5 being average. At the end, we add those scores up. Anything over a 3 is bar worthy. Anything 4 or better is bunkersome. Some of you may have not heard of Lucky 7 Distilling, and that's no shock. It is one of these smaller companies that are popping up and getting their hands on some aged barrels from the larger distilleries as those become more abundant. Lucky 7 Distilling is an NDP, a non-distilling producer. They are out of Bardstown, Kentucky, started by 2 friends, 2 college friends who had a love of bourbon and a love of the movies, hence the Lucky 7, which is from the Studio 7 from Warner Brothers, where a lot of popular movies were made. Their master distiller is Ashley Barnes. Formerly, she worked at Four Roses and Buffalo Trace, so she certainly knows what she's doing when it comes to blending. Lucky 7 Holiday Toast is a non-age stated bourbon that comes in at 115 proof. With all that being said, let's get into the appearance on Lucky 7 Holiday Toast. So as you guys can see, the appearance on this bottle is top notch. They did a really good job. I love how they incorporated bourbon and movies. I love the ticket on the front where you can take it off, and each bottle has a dedicated short film to it that you can go on their website and watch. Holiday Toast, I believe, is a Charlie Chaplin film, but it's just an awesome presentation. You walk through the store and your eyes are immediately drawn to this bottle. I've passed it up a few times because I didn't know what it was. I've seen the 12-year and the 6-year, and when I saw the Holiday Toast and saw that it was double oaked, I had to grab it. So for appearance, we're going to give this a 0.8. I love it. All right, we're going to move on to the nose, guys. I will show you the color. It is super dark, really nice. You know, this kind of competes with the likes of Woodford Double-Oaked, Old Forester 1910, Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel, which I'm going to try against this at the end of this video. But let's get into the nose on this first. Man, this nose, guys, is superb. It is super dense. It's that like, there's a lot of cinnamon right on the forefront, like powdered sugar, vanilla icing, tons of brown sugar, so much brown sugar. And then there is a fruit on this I'm trying to pin down. It's almost like, I think it's like it's not red fruits, it's almost like a tart green apple, but just really, really nice. You know, most of those double oaked products, you'll get like a lot of s'mores flavors, so like marshmallows. I could kind of see vanilla marshmallows on this on the nose. But you'll also get like chocolate s'mores kind of notes. This is more like vanilla icing, cinnamon rolls. That it's just really, really beautiful. There's definitely some caramel in there, but it's just that dust. I love it when I smell a bourbon and I smell like dusty powdered sugar. It's a really unusual sensation to have when you're smelling bourbon, but I love it. There's a lot of sweetness going on this. This nose is fantastic. We're going to give it a 0.8. All right, let's go on to the palate. Cheers, everybody. Oh, it's so good. Oh man, I love this. This is great. So my problem with Woodford Double Oaked, it's always at that 90.4 proof. And I've been saying for years, if Woodford Double Oaked would just come out with a cask strength double oaked product, I would love it, with a little bit more weight, a little bit more viscosity. This is 115 proof. Now those like super char notes and like s'more notes don't come out quite as much on this. But what I love is you get all those bourbon notes with this like thin layer of the double oaked. It's not overpowering. It is just so much sweetness. It is fantastic. So as far as tasting notes go on this, let me have another sip. Oh, it's just so much brown sugar. So much brown sugar. It's like buttered pie crust, caramel, tons of mid-palate spice because of that 115 proof. Man, this is beautiful. I'm going to go in for another sip. Man, that sip was amazing. This is a crazy bourbon, and I don't know if it's power of suggestion and me getting Christmas spices because it's called Holiday Toast, or if the blender is just that good. But you get, on your first sip, you get this like overwhelming brown sugar, caramel, vanilla, that like buttered pie crust, and then it transitions to just a ton of barrel spice on the mid palate. And then as you explore and you take some more sips, what you'll find on the back end, I swear to you, is a gingerbread cookie note. And I don't know if that's where they get holiday toast. That's why they did this for the holidays. But there is a gingerbread cookie note on this, similar to what I get on Angel's Envy Rye, but without all the sweetness. It's really, really good. Man, it is that gingerbread cookie note when you find it, and you don't find it on every sip, but when you find it, it's just like this wonderful little surprise. I'm going to go in for one more sip and see if there are any other flavors I find in this, because man, this is complex, way more complex than Woodford Double Oaked, way more complex than Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel that everybody's chasing. Yeah. Oh man, there's that gingerbread cookie note. I love it. It seems like there are a lot of baking spices. I'm not really good at pinpointing baking spices other than cinnamon. Sometimes nutmeg, and there may be a little bit of nutmeg in this as well. But oh my gosh, what a fantastic bourbon. Ashley knows what she's doing when she's blending these, and I'm not sure where they're getting their bourbon from, but this is fantastic. On the palate, we are going to give this a 0.8. All right, moving on to the finish, guys. Let me take one more sip. Oh man, this bourbon just keeps evolving for me. Almost got cherries there. It's just like this overwhelming brown sugar pie crust, and then it transitioned to almost a cherry note there. This finish is still going. It's all those caramels and that little thread of gingerbread cookie. It just started squeezing my chest. It is still going. This finish is forever. Gosh dang, this is a good bourbon, man. If you love a bourbon with a long finish that fights you a little bit, that's dense and sweet but not overly sweet, this is it, man. This is probably one of my favorite double oaked products I've ever had. On the finish, we're gonna give it a 0.8 as well. All right, moving on to value, and this thing does not take a knock on value either. I picked this up for $64, sitting on the shelf. There were a row of them. $64 for this is fantastic. That falls, it's a little higher than Woodford Double Oaked, but pretty close to that Old Forester 1910 and Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. A little higher than those, but the proof is higher, and it's a lot better bourbon. All right, availability is where this takes a knock. It is a limited release, and I've only seen it in the store one time, but I didn't have to kiss anyone's butt to get it. It was just sitting on the shelf. So availability, we're gonna give it a 0.2. All right, guys, that brings our overall score for Lucky 7 Holiday Toast to a 4.1, making it bunker worthy. Guys, if you see this bottle, you have got to get it. It is complex, it's rich, it's dense, it's sweet, but not overly sweet. The finish goes on forever. It's a double oaked product at 115 proof. for $64. It's a steal. You guys have got to find this bottle, put it in your bunker, and put it on your shelves. All right, before we end this video, what I want to do is taste this, A/B compare it against Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. This is another double oaked product. As you can see, I don't have much left. This is a bourbon that I did not review highly when it came out, and all the other bourbon channels were going crazy over it. But I will never follow what other bourbon channels do. If I like something, I'm going to tell you guys. If I don't like it, I'm going to tell you guys. I don't care how much shit you guys give me in the comments. So this is one I actually did not like that much. It tasted too thin to me. It wasn't very complex. It was just okay, but it wasn't worth being allocated for sure, and it wasn't worth chasing, in my opinion. Now, this Lucky 7 Holiday Toast is, but let's taste these side by side and see what I get. So I just gave you all the notes on there, and man, the sweetness and the density on that is fantastic. So on the Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel, immediately what you get are those more s'more notes. So much more like vanilla burnt marshmallow. And some, vanilla burnt marshmallow is really what I get. Maybe some like cinnamon graham cracker on the nose. This is just, you can tell it has more proof. You can tell it's denser, but it does smell more like a bourbon with all these complex notes kind of overlaying it. This smells on the nose more like a Woodford Double Oak to me. All right, let me taste this, and then we'll go into the Elijah Craig. Man, I'm in love with this stuff. It is really good. Okay, Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. Having them back to back, Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel is damn near invisible. It just, I can taste those s'more notes in there a little bit, but it's almost invisible. Let me go first into the Elijah Craig now. Yeah. It's that vanilla toasted marshmallow with a little bit of like cinnamon graham cracker. It's not bad. It's just, I think my expectations were higher due to it being an Elijah Craig product, and I love Elijah Craig. And I just think people are going way too crazy over it. I don't think it's as good as people think it is, but taste is subjective, so there's no wrong in this game. I'm going to taste this back to back with that. Man, that's not even a comparison. Lucky 7 all day long. It's so much more complex and dense, and the finish goes on so much longer. Wow. I think Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel, yeah, it's 94 proof compared to 115 proof. So, you know, if you see those two on the shelves next to each other, go Lucky 7 all day long. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'm going to toast you out with the Lucky 7 because it is damn good. Cheers, everybody.